On this week's Jack Swarbrick Show, fencer Gerek Meinhardt joins the program. The two-time Olympian was recently named the #1 foilist in the world.
Jack Collinsworth out here with Gerek Meinhardt. Gerek, really appreciate you being with us, man. Two-time Olympian, currently ranked #1 in the world. This guy's a real deal. Now you got to tell us from the start, how do you first get into the world of fencing?
Yeah, so it was actually just a family friend was a 3-time Olympian, so he's got me on one Olympics right now. Was starting up a club when I was 9 years old. My parents signed me up for it in San Francisco. I loved it, started doing well at it, and definitely stuck with it.
You mentioned that Cali kid. Is there any plans to go back to Cali once this thing's all said and done at Notre Dame?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I graduated from the MBA program in 2015, and will be going back to work at Deloitte part-time while I train for the 2016 Olympics.
And now you're currently #1 in the world. We mentioned it at the very beginning. Not many people can say they're #1 in the world at anything, no matter what it is. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. I mean, fencing is an individual sport, but it was really a team effort getting me here, obviously. My coaches, family, friends, everything, and all the support I'm so appreciative of. And it's really a big step for the U.S. fencing also in my weapon, because we've been strong for a while now in the junior under 20 age groups and below that. So it's just great for us to be now have someone at the top, and it really shows that we're a strong presence now.
Yeah, tell me a little bit, what are some of the differences between the international meets or the international fencing matches and then here at the NCAA level?
Yeah, at the NCAA level, we really know everyone pretty well. You know, you've grown up fencing against these people, and really the matches are a lot shorter as well. It's to 5 points instead of 15 at the senior level internationally. So you really have to be more focused and disciplined, because if you make a mistake here or there, going to only 5 points, it's a lot harder to come back from that. So there's that, and then obviously here at Notre Dame we're fencing as a team, and even though you're still only up against one opponent and it's just you out there, you have your whole team behind you cheering for you, and you've been practicing every day in the gym together. So it's just a great feeling being able to compete here at Notre Dame against other teams.
And we talked about it a little bit before we started filming, but explain just a little bit of how you can score in the sport of fencing for people that don't, it's not an everyday activity to them. They watch it every 4 years.
Yeah, so there are 3 different weapons: foil, epee, and saber. I compete in foil. All 3 of them have different target areas, and the way that you score is very different in them as well. There's a director or a referee who will really decide who gets the point. For the most part, both fencers know who really got it. There's some argument here or there, which is part of most games, most sports. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically the aggressor usually gets the point if both people hit at the same time. And there's blade contact and pairing, and it gets a little complicated. But the point really is to just go out there and attack the other guy and hopefully hit them.
And they've been doing some things too to make the sport a little bit more friendly for the fans, and be able to just talk about that a little bit and what they've been doing so that people really know what's going on during the match.
Yeah, so obviously fencing is really complicated. It's tough to explain. It's tough to obviously understand what's going on when you're watching it on TV when it does come on. They've been starting to increase the amount of commentating that they have. So a lot of our events are getting streamed online now mostly, and the commentators do a great job of trying to simplify the explanations down a little bit, showing who starts the attack. And then they're starting to add things like lights in the mask to really see, so you can instantly see, oh, that guy obviously hit, his mask is flashing red or something like that.
And so you were in Beijing in 2008 and then London 2012. You got to tell us about those experiences, man. That's something not a lot of people get to do. That's very cool stuff.
Yeah, so Beijing was actually a couple months, or the month that I came to Notre Dame for my freshman orientation. I actually left before closing ceremonies to come here and make the orientation, which I don't regret, since I made another Olympic Games and was able to stay for closing ceremonies that time. If I hadn't, it would have been a little upsetting, but it was an amazing experience. In Beijing 2008, I was the youngest on the team, and in my event, I was 5 years younger than anyone else, so it was really a learning experience. Just getting there was the accomplishment for me. London Olympics, I really had my mind set on trying to medal, and we fell short of that. In team, we took 4th, but I was a lot older, and I feel like I really was able to soak it in more, and it was interesting being sort of the veteran on the team at that point 4 years later.
Right. Was there any guys while you were over there, either in Beijing or in London, that you really looked up to and you were able to meet, whether it's fencing or any other competition.
Yeah, I'm a huge basketball fan. My sister played D1 basketball. She's 6 years older than me. And so it was great just seeing the U.S. men's basketball team and other athletes too, like seeing Louis Scola running around on a little bicycle in the village, this huge guy, stuff like that. One meal at the dining hall, the whole U.S. Olympic team came over and ended up sitting at my table, filling in one at a time from the other end, and next thing I knew I was sitting next to Chris Paul and Michael Redd at the time in Beijing, and it was pretty cool. They were really down to earth, joking with us, saying they tried fencing and it killed their legs squatting the whole time. So it was really cool just seeing what nice guys they were and how down to earth they were.
All right, so you talk about all these guys that you compete with, and you compete with them at the NCAA level, the national level, everything. Do you know these guys, or is it, are you guys friends as soon as you get done with your fencing match? How's that work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the NCAA level, we've been competing at these national competitions every year. I mean, even before we get to college, there are like 4 or 5 national competitions every year in different places throughout the United States. So you see them, you're traveling with them. And then at the international level, it's sort of the same thing. The age difference is a little more than NCAA's, since that's just 4 years. At the international level, I'm really competing against some people who are 10 years older than me or more. And at the same time, once you get to the top, you're seeing them at every competition as well. They're at 8 or 9 World Cups throughout the season. So you're there, often facing the same opponents, and you really gain a sense of respect for each other, especially when you win sometimes and you lose other times. So it's actually really cool staying in contact with them.
Right. Who's your biggest rival?
I don't think I have a big rival right now.
Who's the toughest guy then? We'll go with that one.
Yeah, there's a Russian who I actually lost to a few times last season and finally beat him, Chermizanov from Russia. I think he's maybe 3rd in the world right now. And he's definitely got a style that works well against me, so I'd consider him one of my biggest rivals.
And when you guys do this stuff, you get to travel all over the world. Where's maybe your favorite place that you've gone, maybe your favorite travel memory as well?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite places to go was Turkey. I really love the food there, and we were able to go to the beach. It's tough at some of these World Cups. We're there for only a few days, and I've got to do homework, and we're jet lagged. So when we get the chance to stay there for a week, which we were able to a couple times in Turkey, you really get to relax a little bit and see the scenery and everything, and it was a great time.
That's awesome. And so you graduate last year, and instead of going back and doing something easy this year, which you very easily could have done, it's not that hard to go get another art degree, go do something easy. You take on MBA and you go get your business degree over at the School of Mendoza. You ever just give yourself a break, man? You're doing enough already, right?
Well, thankfully we had that snow day yesterday, so that was a nice little break for me to catch up on some work. No, I took a year off before London actually, and I was just at home training full time. I was studying actually to get into the graduate program, so I was doing a little bit on the side, but I got a little restless, so it's nice being here with my friends. Obviously I miss my parents, but I get to go home over breaks, and things have been going really well this year so far. Way back 4 years ago, what was the thing that brought you to Notre Dame? Why this school? I came for my official visit, and I loved it here. I knew the coach, my coach Gia, beforehand, and get along great with him. I knew that if I were to go anywhere else, this would be the place. If I was going to be away from my coach at home, they have a great relationship, and obviously Notre Dame has great academics in addition to the athletics and the great team and support that we have here, so it was an easy choice.
No doubt. My man, really appreciate hanging out with us.
Thank you very much.